Hey, Algebra 1. All right. Well, you guys have officially made it to the last section of Chapter 10. Last section, Section 8, entitled The Discriminant. So this should be a pretty quick video. You remember the last video, Section 7, that was the whole quadratic formula. Big deal. You guys make sure that you rewatch that video because it's going to be very important that you grasp that concept, really understand how to use the quadratic formula, be very precise in your calculations. Don't rush through that kind of work. Make sure that you guys are going slow. You write down every single step. You pay very close attention to signs, maybe when you need to change it, when you don't. Watch that video, pay close attention to it. You guys got questions, you can send me emails, don't worry about that, or send me, like those private messages through Google Classroom that are related to the assignment that you have a question on. Feel free to do that. I'll do the best I can to field your questions there. But again, I really think you guys are going to want to watch these videos, pay close attention to these videos, go back and rewatch all the videos in preparation for the test when that time comes, and just make sure that you are doing everything you can at home, budget your time wisely, all that normal stuff. Okay, all right, I'll get off my soapbox here. I want you guys to make sure that you're just taking the education as seriously as you can because it's different, I get that, but I think all these videos, Edpuzzle stuff, it's helpful. Do those things, watch them and rewatch them, okay? All right, so here we go. We're talking about the discriminant, and you'll notice we have the quadratic formula back up here. I know I took off that whole 2a thing down there, but make sure that you guys are paying close attention. The discriminant is just what is underneath the radical, okay? So it's just that part that's underneath the radical. So you see, if this whole quadratic formula is here, the discriminant is just what's underneath it. And just to be very clear, this is it right here. That's the discriminant, b squared minus 4ac. So that's you squaring the b value, then saying minus, and you're going to do a 4 times whatever a is. Remember, a is that coefficient in front of the x squared, and then multiplied by c. And remember, c is the constant. It's the value at the end that has no variable with it. Okay? So, again, here's the discriminant. It's just this part here. Please pay close attention that there is no radical being used in the discriminant. All right? That's it right there. Okay. So this is what the discriminant is telling you. This is what you could tell after you've solved for the discriminant. If you just get a positive answer, this is also kind of a nice section because you aren't necessarily saying, oh, this is the exact answer of it. You're just saying, is it a positive answer? Is it a negative answer? Or is it just 0? All right, so back to it. If you get a positive answer, all right, 1, 2, 3, 4, anything going in the positive direction, that tells you you have 2 solutions. Now, when I say solutions, that's also a way of saying that you have 2 x-intercepts. And another thing you could think of here is that's you saying that you have 2 roots. All right? All of that is basically saying the same thing. It's just a different word to use there. Another one, if you have a negative answer, all right, -1, -2, keep going in the negative direction. Any negative answer means you have no solution, meaning you have no intercepts. That also means that your parabola will never touch or cross the x-axis. So here's an example of what that would look like. If this were your x, this were your y, it would be a parabola like that. Well, you notice it's never going to touch or cross the x-axis. So that would be a negative discriminant. All right. Now the final one here is if you just get 0. If you get 0 as your discriminant, that tells you that you have 1 solution, which is the same thing as saying you have 1 x-intercept, which is also the same thing as saying you have 1 root. All right, all those right there are basically saying the same thing. Okay, so this is where the graph is simply going to touch the x-axis and then completely move away from it. All right, so an example of this, if I were to draw a little picture off to the side over here, you would see here's your x, here's your y. That would be a parabola that goes right there and touches the x-axis and then comes up. So you see how it just touches the x-axis one time right there. That's if your discriminant is 0. One solution, one intercept, one root. All saying the same thing right there. Okay, let's do our example problems. So if we're trying to find the discriminant, which means we're trying to figure out how many solutions, which is another way of saying how many intercepts or how many roots. All that right there. So let's plug in our values. Remember, the A value is right there, the B value is right here, and the C value is right here. Okay? So B squared, B is 4, so that's 4 squared minus, and then all of these guys I'm going to put in parentheses just so that you understand they're all multiplied together. That 4 right here is that 4 right here. What is A? There's no actual coefficient written. That must mean that it is 1. And what is C? It is 3. All right, so what is 4 squared? 4 times 4 is 16. Then 4 times 1 is 4. 4 times 3 is 12. Now, 16 minus 12. Is that going to give you a positive answer, a negative answer, or 0? 16 minus 12 gives you a positive answer. All right, and a positive answer right here means we have two solutions. So what is 16 minus 12? We're getting 4, a positive 4. So that means you have 2 solutions. All right, 2 solutions because we had a positive discriminant answer. Now, let's do the next one. All right, what is B? B is 5. So we have 5 squared. I want to take a quick pause though. Some of you might say, well, isn't 5 negative? Technically, yes, 5 is negative, as you can see right here. But what is 5 times 5? 25. What is negative 5 times negative 5? Still 25. Positive 25 for that matter. So that's why I'm not so worried about putting that sign in front of it, because it's going to be a positive 25 either way. All right, minus. And then we put our 3 sets of parentheses. There's a 4. What is A? A is 2. What is C? C is 6. All right. What is 5 times 5? It is 25 minus. What is 4 times 2? 4 times 2 is 8. What is 8 times 6? All right, C, we're getting here. I believe that is 48. Check my math on that. 6 times 4 is 24. 24 times 2, 48. Okay, that should be good. 25 minus 48. 25 minus 48. Is that going to give you a positive number or a negative number, or is it going to be 0? 25 minus 48 is going to give you a negative answer. Take a look here. A negative answer means no solution. So this is no solution. All right, no solution. Another way of saying that you have no intercepts or no roots. This graph will never touch or cross the x-axis. All of that. All right, the final example right here, I worked all out for you already. So I just wanted to show you some things that you're going to see here. There's a negative sign right in front of this trinomial. That's important to notice. And there's a 1 all by itself on the other side of the trinomial. That's another thing you're going to want to notice. Step 1, move that guy over. Take the 1, move it over. You'll see I did that right here. Became a negative 1. Then I chose to circle that negative sign just to highlight it for you and say you got to do something with it. Got to get rid of it. So take that negative out, and this is what happens to the trinomial after you've done that. that becomes a positive. That 2 right here now becomes a negative, and that 1 right here that was a negative becomes a positive. All the signs change. All right? Now, go through and do your discriminant. What is b? It's 2. 2 squared minus, then you have 4 times a, which is 1, times c, which is also 1. 2 squared is 4. 4 times 1 is 4, times another 1 is also 4. 4 minus 4 is 0. This is the final one. So you have a 0 discriminant, meaning you have one solution. One solution. Or another way of saying that is you have one intercept. And the final way of saying that is you have one root. All right, guys. So I hope this video makes sense to you. Watch it, rewatch it. Like I said at the beginning, you guys should be watching and rewatching all these videos in preparation for the upcoming tests that you're just going to be prepping for and doing more review assignments. So there you go. Hope you guys are doing good. You're able to get this work done. And again, if you have questions, you can send me an email. Probably easier would just be to send me a private message on Google Classroom with the assignment that you have a question on. All right. Love you guys. Stay safe. Hope you're doing good.